Earth debate live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Click OK, Neil, One Deck, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Let's get it on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm in a tremendously good mood this morning, I've got to be honest. Been flogging stupid microphones. I mean, wonderful, lovely audio producing microphones for the last 8 or 9 months in lieu of flogging a book. And the book is still not it's still not ready, so it's not going to be coming out. And the whole point of flogging microphones was to make a bit of a profit to keep the mortgage paid, because the book was designed to supplement my drop in ad revenue because of the heavy censorship on YouTube. Now, for the last 8 months, all I seemed to be doing was buying them, selling them, and then buying more with the money I'd made in profit to sell a few more and then buy a few more, and I never seemed to actually make a profit. And then about 2 weeks ago, I said to Craig, who's on the panel, Click OK, I'm in the black. Finally, I'm in the black to about £100. And then I bought a few more microphones and it dipped back into the red. But now officially, I'd say I'm staying in the black. It's consistently gone around about the zero mark, but it's now consistently, even though I've got stuff to sell, I don't need to go out of my way to buy anything. I'm in the black, so I'm starting to actually make a little bit of profit from flogging microphones. I mean, I won't go through my turnover numbers, they're horrendous. I've sold and bought so much stuff, like thousands of pounds worth of stuff has sort of been bought and sold by me over the last 10 or whatever it is months. Hopefully by Easter I won't have to do any more mic sales, and I'll be promoting and selling a book. And the reason, in case you're wondering, why are you talking about microphones on the opening of this show, and why would that put you in such a good mood? Well, Fisherman in a Box did a video about soil in the sky. Now, I played it in the pre-show, along with swearing and effing and blinding about Quantum Eraser and the Adam Meakin thieving bastards that the pair of them are. But aside from that, I was talking specifically about searching for Fisherman in a Box's video, because I saw it appear on Saturday, I think I saw it, but didn't watch it. So I thought, okay, well, it's got me in the thumbnail. How vain am I? I know he's making a video about something I've said, so I want to watch it. Anyway, that's just me. I searched for it, and what do I come across? A video by Simon Dan. And is he talking about his ineptitude when it comes to Coriolis deflection and the requirement for 2 reference frames? No, Dan's not talking about you and your reference frames being ruined. Is he talking about the 1,000+ flat Earth measurements he made that we point out currently at nausea? Nah, his thumbnail's talking about the book. Lowest possible hanging fruit. Apparently the community's in turmoil. No, there's just a couple of thieving bastards that I've excluded from my life since they tried to extort one of my drafts from me. Now, that isn't really addressing the fact that Earth's measured flat, or that we haven't got any proof that Earth's turning. A church rhetoric that a lot of atheists seem to be under the misapprehension that they're not believing in church viewpoints. I mean, we're going to, at least on this show, point out exactly how religious heliocentric belief is, given that people in England have had it taught to them via the Church of England school system that they went through if they had a free, cheap education from Big Daddy government. But that makes them in line with the Roman Catholic religious rhetoric of being on a ball flying around the sun. That's a Christian viewpoint. It's come from the Roman Catholic Church via your Church of England education here in England, obviously. I'm sure it's the same in every other country. Big Daddy government, via a system that's been passed down from the Roman Catholic Church, teaches you this religious viewpoint that you're on a ball in a sky vacuum. That's a very religious viewpoint. And a lot of people are under the misapprehension that they're not religious because they don't do any primary source research. Go ahead.
By the way, it does not line up with Scripture. So I'm glad that you're putting it on the Roman Catholic Church. But also Christians, born-again Christians, Lutherans, believe the same thing.
And you know who else believes the same thing? Scientologists. That's the closest comparative religion in the strictest terms. If you are a dyed-in-the-wood heliocentrist who thinks you're on a ball after measuring Earth flat to produce it mathematically, in orbit around the sun after measuring Earth flat to produce it mathematically, then your religious viewpoint, that's being on a ball in a sky vacuum flying around the sun, aka heliocentric, helios, that's the sun, centric, meaning at the centre, from the Roman Catholic Church, your religious viewpoint is almost identical to the Scientologists' viewpoint. You've got more in common with Scientologists than any other religion. Now, both have come from the Roman Catholic Church. It's just you don't get Scientology taught to you in England, Church of England school system. You get the direct heliocentric rhetoric from the Roman Catholic Church without any Xenu references. But beyond the Xenu references, they're the same religious viewpoint. You're both on a ball, you're both flying around the sun, you're both in a sky vacuum with planets far, far away, with aliens. You've got the same religious viewpoint as a Scientologist. They're the same viewpoint. They're the same religion. I just want to make that clear to all the people who think they're not religious when they think, I'm on a ball flying around the sun, but I'm not religious. Yeah, you are. Yeah. You're about as close to a Scientologist as you can get. You might not believe in thetans, but you definitely believe in aliens if you're a current mainstream heliocentrist. It's all you get on your propagandized news feeds. Aliens, right? What, like Xenu and thetans? Yeah, they're bringing it ever closer to the Scientologist viewpoint for you muppets who think you're on a ball flying around the sun based on flat Earth measurements to derive orbital motion. You're just religious fundies, you bloody heliocentrists. Shout out to Chow Young Cat for the super chat, which says, "For it's by the grace you've been saved through faith, and it's not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." Ephesians 2:8-9. FYI, Catholics aren't Christians. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it, Chow Young Cat.
I don't know about that. I know a lot of Catholics that you'd be surprised. They just, what it is, it's a lazy religion. That's what it is. You know?
What's lazy?
Roman Catholicism. You're not prompted to read your Bible. You just go by what the priest says. And every week you just go to confession and, start over every week, like he says in the Bronx Tale. It was great being a Catholic. You do what you want, and every week just go to the priest, ask for forgiveness, and move on.
Yeah, we stole all these tobacco cigarette things from the back of a van. Just go and dip your hand in the holy water, say 3 Hail Marys, and be on your way. That was my Italian-American accent. Not very good. That's not me implying that all Italian-Americans are thieves. It's just the just general stereotypes from things like The Godfather.
Right, and movies like A Bronx Tale and Goodfellas and all of that.
Yeah.
But to hear Billy Graham saying that he thinks that we'll be zipping from planet to planet with light speed efficiency, it's nowhere in Scripture, and that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm tempted to play that bit again, but I won't. I mean, in the pre-show, we had... Is it Billy Graham? Is that the guy we were watching right at the end of Fisherman in a Box's video?
Yeah, he was the one that was being interviewed.
So a devout Christian, like Bible thumping Christian from a Christian church, who stands at the front, in front of the pulpit, talking to his congregation about heliocentrism, about flying around the sun. So for all of you out there that follow in the footsteps of your Simon Dans and your Craig McNeils, thinking you're atheists, no, you're fundamentalist religious zealots and lazy ones that haven't done any primary source research to figure out where that religious viewpoint you hold came from. Spoiler, it came from the Roman Catholic Church about 500 years ago and was honed about 300 years ago. And it's been in worldwide effect, I choose my words carefully, about 100 years. That's it. But it's still a religious viewpoint, very much in line with Scientology. It's the same religion. Yeah, there's almost no difference between Scientology and heliocentrism. One is based on the other. It's just an offshoot of the same Roman Catholic religious viewpoint that you fundies, thinking you're atheists, idiots. No, maybe if you'd have done some primary source research into where your heliocentrism came from, you'd know it came from priests. That's why you got taught it in your church schools. Yeah? Did you think you were atheists? Oh, bless. Nah, you're just like Scientologists. Yeah? Crazy religious nutters. That's what you all are, believing you're flying around the sun. What kind of nutters are you? Do you not know you've got to measure Earth flat to derive orbital motion? Did you not know you've got to measure Earth flat to derive sphericity of the surface? Did you not know any of these things? Did you not research the measurements of Earth to create a ball for you to believe in as you were told by the Roman Catholic Church? Did you not research it? What's that? You and your reference frames are ruined? Yeah, you dumbasses, the bunch of you. Don't even understand the principles used to suggest you've got turning Earth beneath your feet. You don't know how it's been brought into effect. You don't know where the origins came from. You don't know anything about it. You just told it by your school, and now you just think that's the case. Yeah, of course I'm on a ball flying around the sun. My teacher told me. It's sad, isn't it? When you break it down like I just broke it down, it's sad and pathetic and lazy on the part of all of the heliocentrists out there that just decided to agree with what they were told and now doggedly fight for it because they've got so used to believing it. Look at the measurements, you bunch of clowns. Where do you think you got orbital motion from? Where do you think you got sphericity from? You got it from angle measurements off a flat surface. That's where. Earth was measured flat to produce your heliocentric, crazy worldview akin to Scientology. And we're going to labour this fact, right? From this point forward, right? There's plenty of people out there that genuinely believe they're atheists. No, you're not. No, you're just like every other Roman Catholic believer. A religious fundy. That's what you all are. That's what heliocentrism's given you. Yeah? Without you even realising it, you were put into a religion. Without your permission. You were just told to be in the religion and you went along with it because you're lazy and stupid. And that's what being on a ball flying around the sun makes you. Lazy and stupid. You didn't look into its origins, you didn't look into the maths, you didn't look into the measurements. You didn't look into the people who gave it you. And if you did, you just went, oh, well, so what? It came from the priests. Doesn't mean I'm religious. Yeah, it does. Makes you all religious. Because being on a ball flying around the sun is a religious belief. And that's what you all are. So-called atheists. No. Bless.
Well, that's no excuse for Bible-believing Christians to fall down that path either. I mean, they have the Bible in front of them. They could read word for word what it says. I mean, you don't have to follow this heliocentric nonsense because that's exactly what it is. It's nonsense.
Yeah. I think I will actually play that clip. Just the last little section of it.
Yes.
Bring that up. Hopefully it doesn't get me a copyright strike for the music. I'll see if I can spin it onto the bit just slightly past the music.
The Bible teaches that the ultimate goal of the true believer is going to be a place called heaven or paradise. It's not going to be a place where we sit under palm trees and have a beautiful girl fan us, as some people envision heaven. It's going to be a place where we work.
What?
And I think that we are going to be able to go from planet to planet and...
Sorry, we're talking about what the Bible teaches in Christianity according to this very religious man. What's his name again? Billy what?
Billy Graham. He was an evangelist from all the way through 60s and on. And he was a very successful evangelist.
You're getting this? You're flying on a planet around the sun, being delivered to you by a Christian evangelist. Yeah, this is where your worldview came from. Why is this Christian evangelist talking about heliocentrism and planets and work up in heaven? That's because it's the same religion you all hold. It's come from the same place. It's the same religion. It's the same story that you atheists thought had come from just knowing that we're on a ball. We just know. Yeah, well, where did you get the information from? Oh, from a church school? Yeah, that's right. That's why this Christian evangelist is saying the exact same thing. Because he holds the same religion you do. A bunch of fundies on a ball flying around the sun.
From one part of the universe to the other, and I think we're...
Universe? What, like you... Christian religious fundies on a ball flying around the sun in a giant universe, believe? Yeah, it's the same religion, yeah? From your church school? You just thought that was just a fact. That's what Big Daddy government told you when you were educated for free.
We're going to be able to go as fast as thought. And I think we're going to have other worlds to conquer. We're going to have tremendous enterprises that we're going to do on other planets.
Other planets. That's right. You bunch of numpty idiots, heliocentrists, think that there's other worlds in the sky, don't you? Lots of rocks to mine. In the air. Yeah, that's idiotic. But it's the same religious view that this here fundamentalist has got. Billy Graham. He's on your side, Simon Dan. He's got the same viewpoint as you, Craig McNeil. That's right. Dave, not a professor. He's got the same view as you because it is the same viewpoint from the same church. You're just as fundamentalist as this gentleman, Billy Graham.
And I think there are many indications in the Bible about this. We're not going to go and just sit down and rest and relax.
Yeah, that's the first thing he's got wrong. I mean, he can talk all day long about heliocentrism, having had it passed down from the Roman Catholic Church. But no, it does not say that in the Bible. Yeah, that's where Bible-believing Christians are very different to the heliocentric, Roman Catholic-derived religious fundamentalists, like Simon Dan, Craig McNeil, and not Professor Dave. Yeah, they're the same as this man, Billy Graham, as in, like a man banging his Bible, pretending his religious rhetoric has come from it. It didn't. Let's get that absolutely clear.
Relax. Now, the first few years, I'd like to rest a while and play a little golf.
Sure.
And I hope they have golf balls. And
They have a great course. They have a great course.
Because I'll miss it if we don't. But I asked my wife one day, who's a great student of the Bible, I said, Ruth, do you think there's going to be golf in heaven? She gave a marvelous reply. She said, if golf is important for your happiness, it'll be there.
Can't argue with that.
I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are inherently immoral.
Is that Pastor... Just say that one more time. Pastor Will Duffy? Yeah, that's right. He's your pastor, isn't he, Baltards? Yeah? That's Simon Dan's pastor. The one that alleged to go south? That's south. Not south. South, like on a compass. To assume antipodal positioning by begging the question fallacy, and then measure Earth flat for 24 hours, like all of the participants there. Other than fugly Dave McKeegan, who couldn't cope with the tripod. They all measured flat. Earth in Antarctica. If they were there, they might have been in a tent of tellies, not that it matters. They'd still be measuring Earth flat on a sun on a telly screen if it was. Meanwhile, he's your pastor. You bunch of religious zealots. Your pastor says it's okay to lie, scheme, and deceive. While he bangs his Bible, pretending that that's where his worldview of a world that flies around the sun has come from, it wasn't. The Roman Catholic Church got it by measuring Earth flat. Like he measured Earth flat. And all of his participants in Antarctica or in a tent of tellies measured Earth flat. Other than fugly Dave McKeegan. Like, scrape your own eyes out your own head for being so ugly and stupid, Dave McKeegan. Didn't quite manage to use his own tripod, Dave McKeegan. Dumbass couldn't cope with measuring Earth flat for the full 24 hours in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Or maybe in a tent of tellies, Dave McKeegan. Other than him, that dumbass, they all measured Earth flat for a full 24-hour period at the behest of a pastor. Pastor Duffy, who says it's okay to lie. He's your leader, your Christian leader, disseminating the rhetoric of the Roman Catholic Church to a bunch of people that think they don't believe in God, that they're not religious. Oh, you are? That's your pastor, Pastor Will Duffy, who leads the charge of heliocentrism on your behalf. He's like your glorified ruler. He's the one in charge of Professor Dave and Simon Dan and Craig McNeil and Creaky. He's your pastor. Me, I haven't got a religion in that regard. Yeah? I follow Jesus based on the words that are actually in the Bible, not the words of a lying shyster. Could be in jail, I've no idea where. Pastor Will Duffy, your leader, who says it's okay to lie to you when he passes on the rhetoric of the Roman Catholic Church as you all believe in it, along with going to measure Earth flat when travelling south. That's a horizontal directionality, by the way. You'll require a flat Earth to describe that direction. So that's south. Flat Earth only. Meanwhile, you can assume antipodal positioning if you don't know how to use a frigging compass. When you believe in being on a ball, as the Roman Catholic Church told you. Flying around the sun, like the Roman Catholic Church told you. After they, the Roman Catholic Church, measured Earth flat to derive orbital motion. You can believe that based on what your pastor, Will Lying's OK Duffy, told you after measuring Earth flat, like all of his participants in Antarctica, other than fugly Dave McKeegan. Shout out to Fisherman in a Box. There is a link going by to Fisherman in a Box's channel. That particular video was called Raw Studio, Soil in the Sky, penned by Nathan Oakley. Oh, how lovely. And then it's got 1970s Gift to Heliocentric Christians. Oh, I like the way he's phrased that. Gift to heliocentric Christians. Yeah, that's what you all are. Yeah? Did you think you were an atheist? No, you're a heliocentric Christian. All of you numpties, you believers, you religious fundamentalists, following Pastor Will Duffy. Down to Antarctica? Down? Why is it that I'm pointing in a flat earth compass direction and saying down? Oh, it's because I'm pointing out how stupid you numpties who think that south? No, dumbasses who don't understand how to use a compass. That's right, it's you. Yeah, with your religion you were given by the Roman Catholic Church. South? South? No. Idiots. Zealots. Religious believers. Ball in a sky vacuum. Now you're going to need to measure Earth flat for that. Orbital motion. No, you're going to need to measure Earth flat for that. Why is that? Because Earth's measured flat. Even to derive your religious belief that you all hold. I know. You should talk about my book. Then you won't have to talk about how flat Earth got measured by the Roman Catholic Church to give you your religious viewpoint. You can attack me, the man, in my book. Maybe attack the people who extorted it. The draft, that is, from me. You could do that. That would be a much lower hanging fruit than Roman Catholicism gave you your religion after measuring Earth flat. You and your reference frames are ruined. Yeah, you're going to need two of those, dumbass Dan, with your religious belief in flying around the sun as the Roman Catholic Church told you. And Duffy told you. Pastor Duffy. Yeah? You all covered it. He's your leader. I mean, he might be in jail, but he's definitely your pastor.
Nathan, Billy was saying that we'll be moving from planet to planet with speed of thought.
Oh, really? I mean, that sounds just like God's word.
He said it's in the Bible.
No, it
He
isn't.
said I
It's just
can't
lying,
find it.
then.
I was just looking.
Also, shout out to Bible U, who's in the chat, and she's giving you some decent citations, so you'd have to listen to the nonsense of Billy Graham talking about planets. The Bible and Science, and then there's a link, so go and check it out on the Bible U channel. Big shout out to you, Paula.
Well, I got one of them from Paula. It's outstanding. I'm going to share it with you one day. We'll discuss it about the scientific method and, what the Bible says. Very good.
There's as much propaganda out there against true Christianity as there is against the world being measured flat. You have to create an aura of Christianity being something that it isn't. And Paula, over the years, has pointed me in the direction away from the rhetoric that is easily debunked, if I will just admit to it, if I wasn't as lazy as I am. Now, fortunately, I've got people like Paula, that's Bible U, on my side. And when there's crazy nonsense put out there, she can point out how it's crazy nonsense really concisely, because she's done the work, right? So it's easy when you know how, but you've got to have done the research to do it. So if you want to be a true Christian, that is to say, become at one with Christ, Paula's link's in the description. You can check out her link, which is called, once more, what was it again? The Bible and Science. So check it out. There's a link flying its way by in the live stream chat as we speak.
Yeah, that's the link I'm talking about. I would recommend that everybody click that and read that.
Oh, why is that a black screen? That doesn't look so good. Something's gone wrong there. Sorry, bear with me a second. There we go. That's much better. We can see the glorified protractor that is known as the globe, with its tangential plane that's not the surface, attached to the dangling dingleberry. How beautiful. You know who came up with this? The Roman Catholic Church. It's a Roman Catholic derivation of a flat Earth angle measurement to Polaris and an orbital motion given to you by Kepler. It's a Roman Catholic Church derivation, this depiction here. I mean, no one's standing in hell to measure angles, but I mean, that's how it functions. You just got to understand your Roman Catholic religion that you all have. Yeah, we're definitely going to lean into this more and more as time progresses, because it is hilarious how deluded a lot of the heliocentrists are, how they don't think that they're in a religion. It's like being a Scientologist and saying, well, it's not a religion. It's just how it is. Thetans and space and sky vacuums and moving around the sun in an orbital motion. That's not a religion. Yeah, it is. And you're all a part of it. Yeah, so it's been a good weekend, as you can tell, because I'm in a great mood. A big shout out to you, by the way, Dan, in all seriousness, right? From one YouTuber to another. As much as I can take the mickey out of you for going for the lowest possible hanging fruit, not addressing your 1,000 plus flat Earth elevation angle measurements that definitely aren't local to you. You don't have to address any of that nonsense. Just keep advertising my book that it doesn't even exist yet. Just keep advertising that, saying that the community is in turmoil. The flat Earth measurements aren't a community. In fact, they've got absolutely sod all to do with any people or individuals. Like weak minds cover people. Meanwhile, the measurements of Earth are flat. And it wouldn't matter if there wasn't a single person on the face of God's green Earth. It would still be flat. And when the apes took over, they'd have to measure it flat too. Because that's how it'd be measured. Like it's measured by us. And the Roman Catholic Church. To give you a religion of being on a ball. But nevertheless, in spite of you not addressing any of that, I'm really grateful for you covering the turmoil that the community's in. No, I wouldn't be so bold. You know, it's just little old me and people who come onto my show for an hour or two each day. I mean, I've built a nice little community around me. That's not flat Earth. Far from it. That's the Nathan Oakley 1980 community that I've built over the last 10 or 11 years. Flat Earth community? Well, that's a bit of a misnomer. Maybe you don't understand what flat, that's an aspect, and Earth, that's the ground we're standing on, mean when you put them together. That's not a community, you bunch of idiots. But you want to make it about a community because then you won't have to address the measurements of Earth, will you? If you can make it about individuals, that's even better. Yeah? It isn't. Earth's just measured flat. The other video I'm going to release is, I've already released this to my members, but I'm going to release my little microphone video that I've made about 4 times so far, where I say, yeah, I'm coming to the end of flogging microphones because I'm doing my book. Really grateful that I'm nearly at the point where I can publish it, so I don't have to flog these stupid microphones anymore. And here are all my microphones that I need to sell to keep my head above water moving into this festive season that we're now in. I know you guys have got Thanksgiving, haven't you, before Christmas? For us, it's just a clear shot from Guy Fawkes night straight through to Christmas. So the second Guy Fawkes night is over, all of the supermarkets clear out all the shelves, the Halloween stuff goes on discount, and all of the Christmas stuff comes out. So we end up having Christmas music played to us through November, which it always irritates me that we get almost 2 solid months of Christmas. But you guys get it, you know, punctuated by Thanksgiving, don't you? Yes, Nathan, we do have Thanksgiving. Well, I'm glad this is turning into a single-way conversation. Is this thing on?
Yes, we hear you. Yeah, after Halloween, they bring out the pumpkins and stuff for Thanksgiving, and then the Christmas stuff comes out immediately after.
Pumpkins on Thanksgiving as well?
Yeah, they bring out the pumpkins and the pumpkin spice and the leaves and all the festivities for Thanksgiving, you know, the floats or whatever.
I just didn't know you ate pumpkins. I mean, obviously, for us, I mean, maybe that's not true for everyone, but certainly for me personally, my family, and ever since I can remember, the only thing a pumpkin was ever used for was to carve a Halloween face into, and then once they rotted, chucked them in the bin, and that was it. But we never really ate them, or not that I can ever remember, whereas it's actually a food at Thanksgiving that you eat. I suppose that makes sense. It's a seasonal vegetable that's ripe and ready to eat at that particular time of year, so it makes sense to eat it.
Yeah, lots of people make pie out of it, pumpkin pie and such.
Is that a pudding? A dessert?
Yes.
A dessert made out of a vegetable?
Yes.
Is it nice?
And from my family, we make sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving.
Is that a dessert?
Yes.
Sweet potatoes are quite sweet, though. I can understand that. Fair enough. Sounds delicious. We've also got Black Friday. Another reason why I can't really carry on buying microphones at this particular point. There's a transitional point where if you haven't bought all the stuff that you need to sell between now and Christmas, everything gets more expensive, all the prices go up, so it becomes increasingly difficult to buy in stock. I'm sure other retailers out there will attest to the same thing. Although they've probably got proper distribution lines and suppliers that don't actually have that sort of problem. Quite the contrary, they'll want you to buy more. But for me, having, you know, a limited supply chain, that's to say I buy the stuff from the same place I sell it, the prices all go haywire as soon as it comes towards Christmas. So fortunately, I've got enough stock to hopefully last me till Christmas. And more importantly, last me till the book comes out. But it'd be great if I can get some more adverts out of you guys on the ball side between now and Christmas. I mean, the book doesn't actually exist yet, but I mean, if you can keep telling people that there's a book that's going to be out there, wonderful. Everyone's then genned up and ready to be reading it when it finally comes out. Maybe you'll get a mention in it. You never know your luck. Depends how stupid you are. I mean, I haven't yet written about you and your reference frames being ruined. But the bare bones draft of the Coriolis effect has been done. I think it was like chapter 6 or something. That's it. I'm normally tuckered out by about 35 minutes into the live show, which is where we're at about now. So I'm going to lean into you guys to help me out. Hey, Arthur, by the way. Hey, One Deck, by the way. Can you guys hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yep. Hello, Nathan.
What's been going on with you guys? Anything exciting happening over the weekend? Flat Earth related, preferably?
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry I
commented
couldn't add
on
anything to the
Simon Dan.
conversation.
We'll go with Arthur then. Flat Earth Ranger next. Go ahead, Arthur.
I was just saying that I could not add anything to the conversation because all that culture stuff is alien to me. Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I could not even if I wanted to.
What religion are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Wait, what's Thanksgiving and Christmas? I missed that.
Hold on, Neil. What religion are you, Arthur?
Well, right now I am a Christian, but I have been born and brought up in a Hindu family. So in India, we do not have that whole culture of Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I have never seen it in front of me. After growing up, of course, I got to know about the Western culture, but not something that I have witnessed on my own in my society, basically.
I understand now. It's not that you're denying it like some people, because a lot of people, like, they fight against Christmas and they say it's Saturnalia. You just weren't brought up in it. I got it.
Yeah, well, there's loads of pagan traditions in it as well. I mean, if you believe the Bible, you would probably peg Christmas at about September-ish, around about early to mid-September. Someone out there is going to go, what, September 11th? Well, maybe.
Hold on a second. Hold on. There was a time when I fought against it, and I was the most miserable person you could imagine. And I said, wait a second. If for one day the whole world is going to acknowledge the birth of Messiah, and who am I to fight against it?
Yeah, that's my attitude. Absolutely. Now, but there are, certainly here in the UK, lots of leftover, I suppose is the word, pagan traditions, like the tree. That's pagan.
Yep.
1000%.
Yuletide, tied into Norse mythology and whatnot.
Exactly. But they've done that to
Yeah.
keep, when they transition to Christmas being in the middle of winter and New Year. That's the one that really bugs me more than anything, right? As you say, Neil, if everyone's going to talk about Christianity and the birth of Christ, then who am I to disagree? You know, we go to church on a Christmas day and put oranges on a tree. What are the oranges? They're like planets. You know what I mean? So, but we'll do it because, you know, why not? It's tradition and we're British. That's what we do. But nevertheless, the bit that bugs me more isn't actually Christian hijacking of pagan traditions. It's saying that New Year is the 1st of January, which to me is just a stupid, nonsensical way to see things. It's like spring is New Year, isn't it?
Can I give the history?
Again?
Yes, that's what
Can
I
I
planned
give the
on
history
saying.
on
Like,
it?
we
Hold on a
celebrate the
second.
birth of
Wait a
Christ in
second.
April.
New Year, it was really April 1st was New Year's. And that's why you have April 1st as April Fool's Day.
Yep.
Because when it was changed to January, there were still old school people who represented it on April 1st, and they were known as April Fools.
Yep, that's correct. Go ahead, Flat Earth Ranger.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, pretty much, yeah.
About April Fool's Day being the former New Year start. I mean, it makes sense, right? That's when the
When it
flowers
changed
come
from
out. That's
April
when the
to
grass
first
comes
of
out. That's
spring.
when the trees start growing their leaves. That's when the lambs start coming. That's New Year.
That's when we have it here in India. Our calendars start around March or April only.
Which makes
Nice.
perfect sense. That's far more sensible. Because that's when the New Year is, right? The end of the year being the end of the dark period, the end of the winter. Not
So basically, they're calling New Year in the beginning of the dead year when
Yeah.
everything's cold and frozen and nothing's springing to life. We're calling it New Year. Happy
Yes.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Let's go outside in scarves, boots, and coats and hats into the new year. And you're like, this is nuts. It never made any sense when I was a kid, and it still doesn't to this day. Just think, what a crazy notion. It's not new. There's nothing new about it. Everything's dead and old and cold.
What does deck means? Which it means 10, right? That's December.
Yeah.
If you go back to August 8. Neville is 9.
Yeah, you're kind of mixing concepts because there should really be 13 moon cycles if you're going to try and devise a calendar. Or if I was to devise a calendar, it would have 13 moon cycles in it.
Right.
In old language Croatian or Serbian, they're using the summer like for the years. If you say how much years you have, you say I have 70 summers.
Yeah. So you get basing it on how many times the sun has cycled through that. I suppose it'd be the analemma. How many times it's gone through that process? I mean, that is something you can thank Kepler for.
And mostly everything is uniform but buttons for some reason.
Yeah. Just mostly hijacking former traditionalists' celebrations and imposing Roman Catholicism on top of them at a point that is universally celebrated by the people of that region at that time. They'll go, well, now it's called X. We've decided to call it this now. You'll still celebrate at the same time, but it's now our religion and our viewpoint. And does it have to line up with the actual Bible? No. No, not at all. Does the calendar match up with anything? No. No, if anything, the calendar's sole purpose is to take you away from the lights in the sky and keeping track of where you are in the year using that giant glorified clock that we call the sky. If you can give people a calendar, then you can take them away from that. They're no longer dependent on those things. People don't even pay attention to them anymore. It's a struggle to get people to even crick their head and look up at the sky half the time. That was cemented more in my mind ever than when we had Aurora Borealis here in the Midlands. Normally, you can get Aurora all the way up in Scotland. That's a fairly regular occurrence. Like every other year, you'll get Aurora there. Whereas here, we don't. It's a very, very uncommon occurrence to get Aurora Borealis. But 2 years ago, we had absolutely spectacular auroras here in the middle of England. And I remember going outside, seeing it and going, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. And I saw 2 women walking past on the street and I ran over to them and went, look, there's aurora, look at it, it's amazing. They just looked at me like I was a nutter. Didn't even crick their head. Wouldn't look up. That's not the first time it's happened, but it's the first time it's happened with something that was truly spectacular. Like if I'm just at the Tesco car park because it's at the top of a hill and I'm looking at a full moon or something, I can appreciate that people wouldn't want to necessarily look at what I'm looking at, right? It's like, why is he looking at the moon? And then they get on with their day. But aurora is colossal. It's taking up like a third of the sky. So when you see pictures of aurora, you're like, you can't get a sense of the scale. And I couldn't, I'd not seen it. So you don't know what to expect. But when it's actually in front of you, it's so colossal that it's hard not to notice. Like you have to go out of your way not to look at it, to not notice it. So when people are like, whatever, and they just carry on walking, you think, my God, do you not care? This is something that's literally in your presence as we speak, and you don't want to even look? No, people don't. Why? Well, because of things like the calendar. They don't need to look at the sky. There's no practical purpose for it. Their kings and queens have passed them on calendars to use for that purpose. And you can mark off days with names given by kings and queens. Months, same thing applies. And you don't need to look at the moon. You don't need to look at the cycles. You don't need to learn them. You don't need to appreciate how they operate. None of that's necessary anymore for the majority of people.
The firmament declares the glory of God. If you look up at the firmament and you see an aurora, that is an absolute sign of the glory of God and his power. It's no wonder that people don't want to look at it, because it forces them to contemplate their place in creation.
Yeah. Now, prior to Flat Earth, I would look up at the sky and contemplate my insignificance in the vastness of space, because that's what my school system taught me. That was the religion I was a part of until very recently. But most people don't. Most people don't look up. They're not contemplating how much of a speck of dust they are in an infinite, ever-spanning soup of nothingness, even though that is their religion. Most people don't give it a second thought. And I think that is the main purpose, you know, to take people away from the sky and have them watch a TV screen believing that it's little green men that are going to come from little rocks that are mineable, that we call stars and planets. Like, that's where the resources are going to be. That's where we should go. We're going to get all of our resources from the air, from the sky. Bonkers, really, when you think about it. We came to a conclusion on Friday that we'll be doing housekeeping maybe once a week. So in case anybody's tuning in going, I wonder where the housekeeping questions are, we'll probably do them on a Thursday or Friday from now on. So they become more and more redundant as time goes on. But to keep that alive, that is to say the arguments as they were previously known alive, we will still do the housekeeping. So long as there's a heliocentric religious worldview prevalent in, I was going to say Western world, but across the world, housekeeping still has a place to a degree. But as Neil put it on Friday, if you keep your house immaculate, you don't have to do housekeeping every day. You just need to do it once a week and just knock the dust off. So that's what we'll be doing. Knocking the dust off once a week. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a video to cover though. I do want to get back into the routine of covering material, although we did cover a bit of Fisherman in a Box today. It'd be nice to cover, as One Deck suggests, us covering normal people who just measure Earth flat because that's how it's measured, without offering a load of nonsensical apologies for their religious faith in a ball in a sky vacuum that isn't the world that they're measuring. So
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just need people to provide me videos. I'm sure One Deck will dig stuff out, as will Essential Goat.
I mean, tempting it as it is to respond to freaking a moron like Simon Dan because he's, grasping for straws. It's not even worth it. Just ignore him. He's not a professional.
No, I mean, he did measure Earth flat 1,000 times, but yeah, like you say, why bother appealing to that? Is he put that into practical application? Was it useful for anything beyond affirming his own religious belief? No. So he's using flat Earth measurements to affirm his ball-shaped religious belief. Like, what use is that to us? Let's just go to people who actually build things, navigate.
No, he just wants to bring up how the community's in turmoil, which it's not. Nathan, why don't you tell us how strong this community you built is?
I mean, I'm very happy with my community. I mean, like I say, I can't quite believe I've managed to keep my mortgage paid for the last 12 months, given that I'm only just into profit after flogging microphones. The whole point being to keep the mortgage paid. But when I sat across from Craig going, how am I actually still afloat? Craig's advice was, well, you just pay attention to your bank balance as opposed to how much profit you're in. If you're in the black in your bank balance, then that's all that really matters. But then you think, well, why am I in the black? Well, because I've got an extremely supportive community. And it's not just a wealth from dollar bills, financial, pound notes that I'm talking about. Like the wealth that I get from a community that's supportive is a very different type of wealth. You know, emotionally, I'm supported by the people around me. I mentioned Paula Bible U earlier. That's a perfect example. Now, you could look at, as I've mentioned him as well, Craig. He supports me. He did actually support me financially. He paid for my curry on Friday, which meant I could take my wife out, which I haven't done for years. So I had cash to pay for the curry, and the curry was on Craig. He was like, I'll pay for tonight's curry. There's only the two of us. I was like, oh, thank you. That's really sweet. But that meant that the cash I'd taken out of the bank to pay for my curry, not that I'm ever paying for Craig's curry, I'm too poor, but I still had that cash in my wallet. So I said to my wife, I'll take you out for a curry. I've got the money that I would have ordinarily paid for my curry on Friday, so we can go out with the kids. And admittedly, she had to put a tenner in, but, you know, it wasn't exactly of detriment. But Craig helps in loads of different ways. He's always helping me with technical work. Now, that involves his time. Is he directly giving me cash? Well, yeah, for curry he is. He literally handed the money over and went, if you feel embarrassed, I'll give you the money and then you can give it back to me to pay for the curry. But you know what I'm getting at. My point is that people don't necessarily just give me money. That's not the only way that people support me. And they support me emotionally. And that's something that you can't buy. You know, even if it had a price, you can't put a price tag on that. Having a supportive community. People like One Deck, you know, allowing me to step back from a horrible situation when it was me being extorted from my former friends. You know, if you've got support of a community, it didn't cost One Deck a penny to take me to one side and go, look, this is a lever that's being used on you. This is how the lever works. And you go, oh yeah, I just hadn't thought about it in that way. That's wealth that I'm being offered. You know, same with Bible U. If you're being brought closer to Jesus, is that money? Is she giving me money? No. But that's invaluable. Is that the right word? Like priceless? You can't put a price tag on that sort of support, that kind of community involvement. But yeah, there's been times in the last month that people's support has literally brought me to tears. Like tears of joy. Like good tears. Like, I can't quite believe how blessed I am in the community that I've built and the people that are around me. Because they're wonderful, wonderful people. But when people say, oh, have you got a community? Do you get a lot of support? A lot of mercenary people will just assume that I'm talking about how much money I get. And it's not about that. I'm not, as much as everybody needs money, it's quite low on my list of priorities, believe it or not. Obviously, I want to keep the bills paid and the lights on. But by the same token, that's not the kind of wealth that I seek, or I wouldn't be doing what I do. Now, I've had that life when I was a rep. I've been rich. I've driven around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that kind of nonsense, and had expensive repmobiles and a good expense account, and, you know, plane tickets whenever I want to fly anywhere for free. All of that stuff is stuff that costs a lot of money. But did I feel emotionally or mentally wealthy then? No. But at some point I decided I wanted a humble life. And a humble life where I, as Neil's trying to allude to, I believe, built a community around me that had more than just money to offer. And it's something that I would assume, I don't know is the case, is lacking in other so-called communities, that they're just seeking confirmation bias for a religious belief that they already have and is already the prevalent one world religion anyway. Like, so I would imagine that if you're toddling along to Dave McKeegan or Simon Dan or Craig McNeil or Professor Dave Explains, you're not going to want to stick around to offer them emotional support. You just get your confirmation bias. You might even drop them some money. But that's about it. Why would you hang around to offer them some emotional support? The irony being that they actually need that more than we do. I mean, everybody needs emotional support. Everyone likes to have friends and a good community around them. But I'm not losing sleep. Who here is losing sleep over the subject of flat Earth? Anybody at all losing sleep because they're worried about Earth not being flat? Anybody at all?
Nope.
Right. Nobody needs that kind of emotional support. But I know for a fact our counterparts on the globe side lose sleep over it, to the point where they are spitting feathers and, you know, want to cause literal harm to the people who point out where they're cognitively dissonant, where they have an opposing view that cannot be squared. The circle cannot be squared for them. Why? Well, because you can't change how Earth is measured. Flat, like this diagram depicts on screen. You can't get around that. That's how it is measured. Well, when you find that out from someone like me, and up until that point you've had the ability to say, oh, these crazy idiots in their community, it's all falling apart in the flat Earth community. Look at this crazy flat Earth individual. Yet you can only lean into that for so long. Eventually, you have to realise the awful truth that it's measured flat. And you will lose sleep over that, which is where you need the emotional support. And will Pastor Will Duffy give it you? Will Fugly Dave give it you? No, they can't give it you. They can tell you that the flat earthers are just nutters, that they're silly. And yeah, we measure it flat, but that's because it's a really big ball. That's not going to cut it, though, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I sleep a lot better knowing that there isn't any dirt coming from the sky that's going to hit us, actually.
Yeah. It was one of the first things I realised about 6 months in making Flat Earth videos. A guy whose name I won't mention called me up and ring, 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 ring. Hello. And person on the other end of the phone I've answered goes, I can't believe you answered. I'm like, you phoned me. He's like, yeah, but I didn't expect you to pick up the phone. I'm like, well, isn't that what people normally do when you phone them? And he's like, yeah, but you're like a celebrity. I'm like, no, I'm not. I've got maybe 1,000 subscribers at the time, but this person looked up to me. Fair enough, right? He's like, I want to talk to you about this flat Earth stuff. I'm like, okay, fine, no worries. I'm not doing anything this second. What is it you want to talk about? Now, this was a video call, and he leant across, he was in his bedroom, to his bedside cabinet and grabbed a bottle of pills. He said, see these? These are sleeping pills. I went, okay. And he tossed them over his shoulder. And he said, I don't use them anymore. He says, I was constantly stressed and sweating it. I was like, well, stressed and sweating what? It's like the horrible nature of being on a ball. The awful fact that something from the sky might come to get me at any moment. The pathetic nature of being an insignificant speck of dust in an ever-expanding soup of nothingness. That really stressed me out to the point where I would lose sleep over it. Now, I found out Earth is flat, and I don't need the sleeping pills anymore. Like I say, he symbolically chucked them over his shoulder whilst on video call with me. And said, I don't need these anymore. I sleep soundly now. I'm like, yeah, so do I. It's a lot less stressful when you find out Earth's flat. Now, back then, I didn't have any of the flat Earth measurements that showed you how a ball was created to absolutely humiliate our opponents by pointing out they require Earth to be measured flat. I didn't have any of that. I just knew balls to bones what Earth was. And so did he. And from that day to this, I sleep easy. Ooh, I've got a load of stuff. I might have to round out. Got things have arrived. Microphones to sell. Ooh. Or I could unbox them live, but it might be a bit of a boring end to the live show. Anybody got anything that they want to add? If not, I'm going to round out. Anybody? Last call? No? Fair enough. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Also, if you're currently watching in the live stream, I'll put another link to Fisherman in a Box's video, so you can go and check him out. Let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots or indeed the videographer himself. So let Fisherman in a Box know. We're very grateful for the video material that we covered in today's show. Once again, a massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.